Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Here with my guest host, as always. Videos going on, and I'm joined by June from Off the Top Sports. June, what's going on?
What up? What up? What up? What up?
We are celebrating a victory Monday. Oh gosh,
Yes, we are.
oh my gosh,
Nothing like
victory
it, baby.
formation is back. Victory formation Monday. I cannot. Who can't wait to talk about this one?
Hmm.
The Giants went into Philly in the wild card round. We wanted the
Minnesota.
rematch.
We ain't beat Philly yet.
Sorry, not Philly. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. The
Yeah.
Giants went into Minnesota. I'm already waiting for it. I'm ready for NFC Championship. You got me hyped just talking about that. The Giants went into Minnesota and proved what a lot of people have said already, that the Minnesota Vikings were frauds. They were pretenders. They were not real contenders. Went in, wanted the rematch, wanted the smoke, got the smoke, took care of business. Love it. I mean, like I said, we got so much to talk about. We always go things we didn't like, things we like, offense, defense, special teams, you name it, we cover it. We will go right down the list. We'll talk about the offense, and I will start with one Mr. Daniel Jones.
Yes. Call him Mr.
Uh,
Jones.
call him Mr. Jones. Oh, excuse me. My apologies. My apologies. I mean, what else can you say about that man's performance? 300 yards passing, 78 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, 114.1 QB rating. I mean, the kid was slinging it. The kid looked good. I mean, I feel like game in and game out, the kid is putting all doubters to bed, haters to bed. You got NFL analysts, ex players, you name it. People were on there just like tagging him on social media, tagging him on Twitter, tagging him on Instagram, saying, "Sorry, I doubted you. Sorry, I spread hate." Like Dan Orlovsky stepped up today. I was just like, "I'm sorry that I sat here and I doubted you. I didn't think you were the guy. I thought you. I said you weren't the guy. I went on all over TV and everything and said Daniel Jones isn't the guy. The Giants need to trade him. The Giants need to start Tyrod Taylor, make this year just be a wash, go into the draft, get another guy." And I mean, I know it's like his first playoff game, but the kid shredded the Vikings, looking to the tune of over 300 yards passing. I mean, what are your takes on his performance? June, I'll start with you.
Oh man. From the first drive, man. It's man. What a perform. Yeah. He earned it, man. He earned my respect. He was gaining my respect throughout the season, but yesterday put it over the top. Going into your first playoff game on the road, not at home, on the road, and the game plan at the office game plan was, oh my god, it was like we didn't punt the first half. We didn't punt the first half.
We only
You know,
had two the whole game.
two whole game. Uh, and one of those punts should not even happen. We'll talk about that later. But but nah, man. And one drive, we ran the ball with him in one of those drives. The drive, we'll talk about that drive. I know we'll break down the drives, but one of those drives, he led us down the field with his leg. And that's the thing with the NFL today. You need mobile quarterbacks, and we definitely have one. And I knew that when we was getting Brian Dable as our quarterback, and what I seen he have done with Josh Allen the past couple of years, he was gonna definitely use Daniel Jones' abilities running the ball, and it showed in his playoff game. And and like I said, man, with the offensive game plan, over 300 yards uh, passing, man, man. I lost the word right now, man. I
Yeah,
was just
I
so,
can see.
I was so, man. Oh man.
I can see. I can
Hmm.
see, man. It just like you said, like Vijay, I'll let you go in a second, but just sitting here like watching him play, like watching him manipulate the pocket, maneuver around, extending plays, just and using his legs, which a lot of people
Hmm.
like for a while we were like, yo, like you're you're mobile, run, like
Yeah.
take off. And this guy was. lowered his shoulder. He stiff armed the hell out of Patrick Peterson.
Yep.
Like, it's just extending the plays. The epitome of him growing was that fourth quarter play, that fourth quarter pass where he rolled out to his left, extended the play on the run, threw a dart down the sideline to Isaiah Hodgins, who toe tapped on the sideline to catch it to extend the drive. Like,
Hey,
that
as Giants fans, not to cut you off, Joe. What that play with my the toe tap? As Giants fans,
Amani Toomer. I've been saying it for weeks, yo. He legit reminds me of Amani Toomer.
Yeah, but that play remind me of Mario Manahan catching. When I look at the toe tap, not the over the.
The Eli Manningham toe tap in the Super Bowl.
On Super Bowl. What Super Bowl was that?
46.
46.
Yeah.
That was 46.
Yeah. Oh man. And the footwork, and everybody was questioning why Minnesota ain't throw the flag. Why Minnesota ain't throw the flag on that?
You couldn't.
You couldn't.
You couldn't. You would have wasted the timeout.
You would have wasted a timeout, which you needed those timeouts anyway. But my bad, Joe. My bad. I just had to kind of.
Nah, you're good. Like I said, I'm going to turn it over to Benji and his thoughts in a second. But just again, like to see the growth and maturation of Daniel Jones is just like it's just amazing. And like I said, that game in a nutshell was just a culmination of like everything. Him, just all the bad throws we've seen, all the holding on to the ball too long, just standing in the pocket, thinking you have all this amazing time, like. Just seeing him again, just extend the play with his legs, roll out, keep his eyes downfield, being aware of people that were bearing down on him, and just to throw a strike like that was just, it was great. It was just amazing to see. But Benji, what are your thoughts on Daniel Jones' performance yesterday?
Honestly, everything that I saw yesterday from him is everything that I have wanted to see from him since we drafted him. Like you saw little tiny flashes of it at things at certain points of his career leading up to this season, but it was never consistent enough for you to actually just fully get behind the man outside of how I'm behind everybody that wears the uniform. Like I said, if you got the uniform on, you got my support. But like you're not going to get me to just be like, yo, it is what it is. I'm like rotting for this dude regardless, unless you go out there and you actually show that you deserve that. Right?
Word.
Yesterday, Daniel Jones wallet. Like he sat up there and he turned people that I thought would never support this man. I saw people sitting up there. One of them, literally my oldest friend, commented on my Facebook status like, "Yo, he made me a believer."
Mm-hmm.
Guys that I've worked with that are sitting up there looking at, like over the off season and everything like that before. So I'm like, yo, we should have got a rock below. Yo, we should have sat up here and traded for this person. We should have traded for this other person. Like, yo, listen, we're gonna ride with this dude. Trust me, it's going to be. This is what we're gonna ride with. We're gonna see what we got. It's about time we just got up there and we found out, and we definitely found out yesterday. Like, I'm going over the stats. It's 301 is his passing total. 2 touchdowns through the air. He actually should have had one on the ground, but Bellinger left a little bit too early when he was down there. That was the drive that we actually kicked the field goal on.
Yeah, that's the drive I was talking about. He drove us down the field.
Yeah, that was a 20-play drive.
Mm-hmm.
20 play. We were on the field, our offense, for like 11 minutes. The only time I've seen us do that any other time is the first drive of the game in Super Bowl 42. Unfortunately, that ended the exact same way with a goddamn field goal. But look, I'm sitting up here and I am just I'm seeing maturation and I am absolutely loving it. The way he's able to manipulate the pocket, the way he understands the strengths of his offensive line and how it is that he's moving around to compensate for that. Neal is going to have some troubles, all right? Glowinski's going to have some type of trouble. So what does he do? He's manipulating the pocket. He's moving up. He's moving out to that right side. He knows where he can roll out to. He knows his backside is covered because Andrew Thomas is a wall and nobody's going around that way. So, he doesn't have to worry about somebody coming over his back. So the man knows what he has. He knows, like, all right, I got this much time. This is opened up for me. The other team is they're in man, so they got their backs to me. It's time for me to take off and get these, 7 or 8 yards that I need to get in order to get this first down. 7 first downs from Daniel Jones's legs alone. That is insane. That is absolutely ridiculous. Now, granted, I know 2 of them were from quarterback sneaks, but still, that's still 5 first downs from a starting quarterback. Somebody who had 17 carries yesterday. That's starting running back numbers when you got like a second back. And that is crazy to sit up here and think that, like, the way Daniel Jones is playing, I'm not trying to downplay the other person I'm getting ready to speak on, but it is absolutely insane to think that the way he is performing is making Saquon Barkley look like a second option. And that is absolutely crazy. It is absolutely nuts. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. Y'all might want to move on to the next topic because I'm going to keep on rambling about this man. I am so shook by his performance right now.
I mean, thanks for the segue. We'll jump into Saquon now. I mean, look, Saquon ain't no slouch neither. Now, what I do hate is that I feel like he was underutilized in the second half. I feel like we were dominating in the run. Like, we were killing the Minnesota in the run game. He had 9 carries for 53 yards. He's averaging about 6 yards a carry. And then I felt like it was like, yeah, we're dominating. And then I feel like we moved away from it, and we just started throwing the ball through the air almost every play.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like that neither. I definitely
no. And I was just it kind of confused me. But again, he had I believe I wrote the stats down too. He had 9 for 53.
Yeah,
he had 9 for 53, and I believe he had I don't know how many catches he had, but I know he had another 56 yards receiving.
I got you
had
right
a touchdown.
I got you right here. Yeah, Saquon 9 for 53, 2 touchdowns on the ground. He was 5 for 56 in receiving.
I mean, he had over 100 yards in all-purpose yards. I know him and Daniel combined for 100 yards rushing. I believe we almost had 200 yards rushing yesterday. I read something about Breda and everything too.
142.
Like I said, there you go. Yeah, $150 pretty much. He had a great game, and I like that we were splitting him out. We were splitting him out on into like the receiver and everything. That I really love too. And we were talking about like why you're not doing that more often. Like throughout the entire season, we were saying that like put him out at receiver, and they had Breda in the backfield. They were running like different plays, and I was just like, I like this. Like I like the setup. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing is like I feel like he had those 7 to 8 to 9 carries in the first half. I feel like he didn't get a bulk of like many carries in the second half. And that was the one thing I feel like we kind of shied away from the run in the second half. BJ Samuels, I see your question, and I will try to answer it in a bit. In a second. We'll put it out to the room. I'm pretty sure you saw that, Bidgie. I'm pretty sure I see that too. Yep. I see that too. Oh my gosh.
At the very least, it's not hot girls this time.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yo, there is a running joke with us because we were doing a podcast maybe like a month ago, and we were talking about the Giants stuff for blah blah, and a bot came on from Twitch and said like hot single girls ready to mingle.
It always happens to us too on our show.
Yo.
It always happens to us too, man. Oh, from YouTube, they always come. They come from YouTube.
Yo, we got it. We got it from Twitch, and it was like hot, sexy singles ready to mingle, and it was like, come on, man! Like on a sports podcast, like why are we doing this? Like
they do it to us off the top. They do it to us
every week. We have the reference. Every week we have the reference, like hot, single, sexy women. Every week. Oh my gosh!
I love it. Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, right, BJ. I'll take it. I'll take the publicity. We're getting noticed. I'll take that.
Oh, I have it to BJ too. That's my man BJ Samuels, man. He run a whole sports network.
Okay.
Yeah, and I do shows with him on. Well, my show I just had, June's Monday Quarterback, is on his network, and we also do a combined show on Wednesday together, man, called Wild Wednesday. So, yeah, that's my guy from Baltimore. Checking that Baltimore fan, by the way.
We'll cover that during the rest of the week. Hey man, no, I appreciate the support, watching the show and everything.
Yeah.
Oh man,
I tagged all my Giants fans down there. I'm still thinking of all the ones that listen, but you see they coming in here though. They ready to yell.
Yeah.
They coming in here. They ready to yell, man.
Oh dang! He said he don't do no shows with you no more. You're a partner in the company now. Dang, June.
Okay.
Dang. This guy's name is Big Boss June for a reason.
Hey, chill.
This guy,
Oh
hey,
man.
boss moves only. June, I feel you.
Or they
Oh
come
man.
in.
What do you think? What were your thoughts on Vince? I'll start with you, then we'll jump to June. Your thoughts on the not only Saquon but Matt Breda, their performance, the running back core performance, because I know people were talking about while the yards weren't, they didn't have all this, like they didn't have like 200 yards rushing, but they both ran very hard and they both got work, like they both got very meaningful yards. They made big plays when it mattered the most. But Benji, I'll
Absolutely.
start with you. I'll start with you, Benji, then I'll jump to you, June.
One of the things I wanted to actually point out, this actually goes a little more into coaching than it does, the actual running game as well. But seeing them both in the backfield together is something that I've wanted the entire time. Finally
Yep.
got it. Hopefully this continues. It continues. Both of them are weapons, and I don't like not using weapons that are available.
Mhm.
But both of them went out there and they got tough yards when the tough yards needed to be got. Saquon had a little bit more as far as going out there, cutting through, getting his touchdowns and everything like that. But, the second touchdown that he got, he ran through former New York Giant, great
Right?
defensive tackle Dalvin Tomlinson.
Word.
He literally ran through this dude on his way to the end zone. And then you had this other play. I can't remember what it was. I think it was like a 3rd and 5 or something like that. We ran a jet sweep with Matt Breida, and Breida had to literally break 3 tackles
Mm-hmm.
in order to get because Minnesota was on it.
Oh yeah,
they were on it, but Breida ran out there and he got, like I said, it looked like he broke 3 tackles in order to get this first down. He definitely got it, but I was just like, man, listen,
he
dudes,
was stopped in the backfield.
yes, he was stopped for a 4 or 5 yard loss.
Yeah.
And he sat up there and actually got the first down and everything. And I'm like, man, listen, it is what it is, yo. This is great. This is absolutely great. And I cannot believe what I saw yesterday from these two. They went out there and they played like they wanted it more than anybody else on the field. Not named Daniel Jones.
Oh, this guy.
Oh man.
I see John. Yes, John G's up. Giants play like we were the Giants of old,
My man,
man.
John. That's my man.
That's
Mm-hmm.
we can only hope we see that again. Let's see Tyler and Adrian in the chat. The Eagles. Oh man, the Eagles Nation. We got you next.
Look, the Eagles fans that I know are already talking junk too. Like my old trainer's an Eagles fan. He said y'all gonna wish y'all never came down to Philly and all this other stuff. I'm like, listen, it is what it is. 2 NFC East teams have gone into the playoffs. I think I want to say it's only been 3 in history that have gone, like 3, like period, NFC teams that have gone in as the number 1 seed and lost in the divisional round. That was the 2007 Cowboys, 2008, unfortunately, Giants, and the 2011 Green Bay Packers. Which kind of sort of means that the Giants were involved in every single one of those. Don't be the next ones.
Hey, it's Monday. I'm enjoying this win. We're going to talk about this. We're going to get to that Eagles game, Adrian. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think we did look good, too. I think we look really good. And I can't wait for the next game on Saturday. Like I said, the first time we played you guys crushed us. Crushed us in MetLife. Put up 48 on us. The second game was a different story. And that was with our backups.
But that was with the backups. That's why I keep telling you.
We only lost by 6.
They registered 1 touchdown in that game with backups in it. And y'all let Galladay score a touchdown on y'all. On your all-pro, so-called the players all-pro corner and Darius Slay. So be careful, Eagles fans. And
that was
and
a
look,
$72 million touchdown right there, man.
And look,
yeah, I'm saying.
I listen to Julian Love. He always shows up on Tiki and Tooney on WFAN I think it's every Tuesday. He shows up on there, and he said, and he And he said they practiced the whole week. The defense, the first team practiced the whole week to get ready for the Philadelphia Eagles, that week 18 matchup. So that's just 2 weeks removed from, getting that game plan together. So this is like nothing new. You just pretty much, because they ain't played last week. They didn't play this weekend. So I feel like they're going to be ready.
A lot of people were talking about that. A lot of people were saying, like, the Eagles are, like, obviously the players aren't going to show up, but a lot of the fans, and, like, in all honesty, like, not being biased or anything, but a lot of the fans were saying, like, they're a little hesitant, a little shaky. Not this before even the playoffs or anything happened, but Adrian, like you said in your comment just now, like, the Eagles are 2 weeks removed from playing anybody, and the last one they had was not a good showing.
No.
Like, we went in and legit, we went into Philly with our backups, and we only lost 22-16.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to say we have maybe one or two, maybe I think it was like one or two of our starting linemen played on the offensive side of the ball. Maybe one starter.
They wanted Evan to get some work.
So yeah, and I think we had maybe one a linebacker. I don't remember. I think LC might have played or somebody played, but like, to go with majority of your backups against the number 1 seed and only lose by 6 away, like, and people were like, "Oh, this is a Giants preseason game," and I'm not gonna get cocky and say all that shit, but like, it was telling. It was very telling. Just you know what I'm saying, and you're not in that rhythm of playing week to week now. It was great because you got to rest up. You got the rest, and you got to rest your guys' bodies and everything, and come back healed. But at the same time, when you're out of that rhythm, and you're coming off a team that is known to be road warriors, just coming off of a huge, upset win, like, it says a lot. Yeah. So what's up, Trina? Yes, Big Blue.
Oh yeah, she's
crazy game.
Trina,
yeah, crazy game. Yeah, it definitely was promising. That last game was definitely promising. Well, I mean, like I said, we're gonna see what happens. Well, regardless of the winner or loss, we'll be on for our final Big Blue podcast, our Nosebleed Section podcast, to end the season. If that's what happens, or not, hopefully we hope for another victory Monday. We'll see what happens. Game's going to be on Saturday, 8:15, so we'll all be tuned in and watching. The whole world will be, I'm sure. O-line play. I didn't think we did too bad. I know Daniel Jones, he got sacked 3 times, but Neal got beat a couple times. Again, we've talked about multiple times. Me and Benji, he got beat a couple times. I'm not gonna say for sacks.
Sacked 3 times.
Daniel Jones, yes. Daniel Jones got sacked 3 times. Yeah, it's on ESPN. He got sacked 3 times. Yeah.
I ain't noticed that, but
I could have sworn it was only once.
Once, I swear.
From what I saw, from the stats I've seen, it said 3. Maybe it's wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's wrong. But I'm just going off the stats I saw today. It was 3. Maybe they were counting it. Maybe he got close back to the line of scrimmage. Maybe something like that.
He did take a sack.
Oh yeah.
Remember the one when he ran and he stayed in bounce instead of throwing the ball away, stayed in bounce and just took the sack. It probably was. I remember one sack though when they got him, but he took one of those sacks. I really don't officially get at him because he just, he didn't want to throw the ball away to stop the time. He just back so the time could be running and so they could use their time.
So he went down and they tapped him or something.
So they could use their time. Yeah. That was the play. That was the play before Slayton dropped the ball.
Dropped the pass.
Pass. Yeah.
We'll talk about that too. My thoughts on Darius Slayton after this year. Yeah, like I said, I get he got tapped down, and like I said, ESPN stats, and I just wanted to look it up the stat lines and everything. I said he got touched down 1 or 3 times. Yeah. Other than that, I don't think they did too bad. I can't fault them for anything. Like I said, they held up pretty decently well. It helps when you have a mobile quarterback like Daniel Jones, able to run around, manipulate the pocket, and keep plays extended. And then you have
Can I address something real quick?
Go ahead.
All right. Yes, Andrew Thomas false started on our touchdown. Also, Kayvon Thibodeau got molested on one of their touchdowns. All right. The play before the Andrew Thomas false start, that was a touchdown. Dalvin Tomlinson jumped off sides, and it wasn't called. There was a deep pass down the field where Justin Jefferson basically bear hugged Xavier McKinney, who was about to catch an interception. That was not called. Let's not go there.
Yeah.
Let's not go there. Go ahead.
Yeah. I was gonna say to that comment that, like you said, Dalvin Tomlinson was next to Daniel Jones before the ball was snapped, and they somehow missed that. So I said that to you during the game. I was like, that was a makeup call. They didn't call it. Move on. We scored our touchdown, so I will take it.
Davey actually, that's my guy, Davey. Davey is a Giants fan, so
Hey, Giants fan, and now I'm not even attacking him. I'm attacking the comment because people will come at us with that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
So that's for anyone who tries to come up with that nonsense because they're still talking about that Washington game.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. And John, just to hit on your comment, John, just put it up for everybody. But John said, I can't be disappointed at all. I was expecting to win 4 games this year. It's a win-win for us. Yes. I thought it's had way more than 4 wins though, John. Come on now. Like, I'm not gonna say we were going, 17-0, but I had us at 7 to 8 wins this year. I figured another new regime, another new head coach, OCs, GM, roster turnover, picking up random receivers out of nowhere. I figured it's gonna be a year 4 of a struggle with Daniel Jones and Saquon with XYZ. That's what I figured, and then everything clicked. So again, I'm sitting here. I never expected 4 wins. I had us at the 7 to 8 win mark. That's what I figured. I figured I don't know. That's why I didn't see 4 wins. I figured we were gonna have progress. So I can't give them 4. I can't say it was just gonna be 4 wins.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, back to offensive line play. Benji, I know your favorite player, John Feliciano. He didn't do too bad. I know you have that Feliciano jersey waiting to order.
Only the burn.
He didn't do too bad. Your other boy Glowinski, he was okay.
It's another one of the jerseys gets burnt.
Andrew Thomas is the all-pro left tackle. You don't gotta speak on him. Gates did his thing. Evan Neal didn't do bad. He's taking his lumps as a rookie. He held up okay. He was hung in there tough. Evan just kind of kills me sometimes because when he pass sets, and it's the coach in me, while Daniel Jones is doing whatever he's doing, I'm watching Evan Neal's pass protection. When he pass sets, when he gets beat initially, he doesn't reset his hands. That's a lot of the problem sometimes. Like when I see him pass set, the edge, the linebacker, whoever it is that's going off that edge, they'll knock his hands down, and he doesn't replace his hands. He gets his hands knocked down, and then he starts trying to throw a shoulder or something like that. I'm just like, dude, you have to use your hands. It's all about hand fighting. Like when you get your hands knocked down, you have to replace. And I saw there was one play that I just saw was Zadarius Smith rushed him, and he had his hands out ready to go, and then he shot his hands. Zadarius swatted his hands, and then he spun inside of him, and Evan Neal just kind of looked at him and just tried to shoulder block him. I'm just like, dude, your hands are down around your waist. I'm like, bring your hands back up.
Mm-hmm.
That's just part of what I was seeing out of him. Just it's been a whole kind of thing all season, and it showed again in this game. It's like you have to replace your hands as offensive lineman. It's what you do on both sides of the ball. If you're a D lineman and you try to swap their hands, they're going to reset their hands and replace them and try to lock back on you. You just got to knock them down again. That's all hand fighting is. So he just has to continue to hand fight. But again, against one of the better pass rushers in the league, and Zadarius Smith, I think he held his own pretty well. Drew, what are your thoughts on the O-line play as a whole?
I definitely think they played well. Like you mentioned, 3 sacks. I really seen one, but
yeah,
they played well, man. For the first, for a couple of young guys at tackle to be their first time playing in a playoff game, I think they held ground. Yeah, they like I said, as far as the running game, they got enough. I push up front. I feel like you mentioned earlier, I feel like they could have did more in the running game. I feel like Saquon could have break a couple of more runs like he did on that first. Especially, that play right there. Let's talk about that first touchdown. Right.
Oh,
And them guys leading them out there, getting them bodies out there. I'm like, oh man,
oh yeah.
that's why Joe, you're a coach. When you see guys going, pulling like that, you know they are the defense is in for a long day. Oh,
Oh
man, that set the tone. You know,
man,
that set the tone right there. I felt like that run right there set the tone, and I knew when I seen that, I knew okay, they came to play. They came to play.
it was almost like a toss left,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll tell you that when I used to play, I played right guard. I
Yeah.
played right guard and I played nose guard. So when I was on offense playing right guard, we used to call whatever play, blah blah, pass pro, slide left, slide right,
Mm-hmm.
whatever your ISOs, your draws. I was at the right guard spot. Whenever I heard 38 toss, that was my favorite play. 38 toss right. Oh, let's go. I used to love it. He's line up off the set go, boom, pulling right outside that right tackle, and I'm flying upfield. And I'm taking the first person's head off that I saw. And it
Mm-hmm.
was always because the line's always inside, like, they're in the trenches fighting and everything. I get out on the edge and I just see like a corner standing in front of me or something. I'm like, oh
Hat
yeah.
on hat. How you say? How we
Oh
say?
my god.
Hat on hat. Hat on hat.
Oh, and I
Hat
just know
on
the
hat.
running back. I know the running back is behind me. Just
Mm-hmm.
there was one time where I pulled and I felt the running back on my back. I felt him holding on to the back of my jersey here, and I was just oh, it was the best play in the world because he's like, oh, I get to just run downfield. I don't get to go downfield like that. Like, so
Mm-mm.
you tell a lineman to go downfield, like everybody's going to go. The quarterback can roll left, he can roll right. The quarterback can scramble. Running back can run for 60 yards. Receivers can run all these crazy routes. Linemen's got to stay on the line. It's not fun. Like, it's part of the game. I get it. But as an old lineman in pass pro, it's not fun. I gotta watch people run at me and try to take my head off and gotta just stand there and knock them out. Like, no. So I get to be told, like, you get to run downfield and hit some small little corner that doesn't see you coming. It was the best thing in the world. Like, teams, they're sitting here calling toss right, and teams are, corners and safeties are in their little zone drops and blah, blah, blah. And then you see this 200-pound lineman just running at him, and they're just like, and freeze up, and I just take him out on the running back, runs down the sideline. It's the best feeling in the world. So just seeing, like, I know when Saquon pulled left or he had that toss left, and he
Mm-hmm.
saw Andrew Thomas and Feliciano just guiding him, it was like the best feeling in the world. And then the underrated part of that was Isaiah Hodgins was out there, and I'm going to segue that into our receiver play. Isaiah Hodgins was out there dominating a defensive end on that run. Hodgins blocked the edge on that run, that
Yep.
touchdown run from Saquon.
Which we call a
And
crack.
with that,
Which we call a crack
yes,
in football.
yes. And with that, I will segue to the receiver play. And I could have named myself this, but I didn't. But my man, you know my man's name, Hodgins the GOAT.
Yep.
That guy was the man again yesterday. I put down his stat line: 8 for 108 and a touchdown. And I mean, it doesn't tell the whole story. One, the kid was out there blocking his ass off. Like, when he wasn't hitting the ball in his hand, he was taking people's heads off in the pass game and the run game, and he was doing it on a bummed up ankle
Oh,
because they
yeah.
showed that.
He
Yeah.
showed that
Yeah,
video. He showed that video. I'm like,
yes,
whoa.
yes,
But that showed the
that video.
toughness. That showed the
Oh yeah,
toughness, though.
oh yes, that ankle injury was ugly. It was swollen up and
Yeah.
black and
That
everything.
was before the game. That was
Yep,
before
before
the
the game.
game.
Because Bidgie, remember you posted up in our group that the Giants had nobody on the injury report, nobody limited, nobody questionable, nobody day to day, doubtful, nothing. And then like 24 hours before the game, Isaiah Hodgins pops up as questionable to play with the ankle injury, and you were like, "Yo, you cannot be serious."
Mm-hmm.
Like that dude before the game came out, this guy's ankle was swelled up like a softball in black and blue, and he
Yep.
just taped it up and played the entire game on it.
And then looked like
Entire
he
game.
had an ankle injury.
Nah.
No, and he said later on he was like, "Sorry if I wasn't running that hard." Like he posted on Twitter, he's like, "Sorry if I wasn't running that hard the last game. I'm dealing with an ankle injury." And he put, "Yeah, right." No,
You look like you was
like
running hard enough for me.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm saying, Vigi, I'll get your perspective on the receiver group as a whole. You could if you want to talk about them as a whole, or Hodgins and Richie and Slayton, all that stuff. I'll get your perspective. I don't want to just keep talking because, like you said, and Daniel Jones, I'll just keep rambling and rambling
Yep.
and rambling. So you go
Trust me,
ahead.
I understand the feeling. I understand
Yeah.
the feeling, just like earlier. So these guys went out there. And they played their absolute hearts out. As you already ran over Hodgins and his stat line, 8 for 108 in the touchdown. Ricky James, I actually was looking up the Minnesota Vikings stats, so I had to change the page or whatever. Richie James actually only caught 4 for 31, but those 4 catches that he had, he made them count. Going out there, first down after first down after first down. Like the only one that I think he didn't get was that one where he was pushed out like a half yard before the marker.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going out there and
we're talking about Richie James, the one that he put his foot on the ground. He put his foot on the ground and boom, and got upfield.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, oh man,
I absolutely I just like the highlight savant and aficionado that I am. No, sorry, wrong word. The connoisseur of highlights that I am.
Oh
Went
my
out
God.
there. I'm sitting up here watching, and I see it, and I'm just like, man, that's gonna be on reels forever if we continue this run. Man, listen, because like I said, this dude went out there. He made the most of every opportunity that he had.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna sit up here and I'm gonna bring the name up, and I'm gonna hear the groans in my head, regardless of whether y'all actually, vocally voice it or not. Darius Slayton,
I'm gonna stop my video. Go ahead.
Right, Darius Slayton, until Darius Slayton until the fourth quarter, right? And it's up until like the last 2 drives or whatever, because one of them he actually caught a pass over the middle. They caught it and then they overturned it without having to do a review, because when he hit the ground, he lost the ball on that one.
The ball, yeah.
And then he came over the middle. Everybody's gonna harp on the 3rd and 15. It would have been something. It would have been like the donkey of the day type thing had we actually lost that game, right? Because we've been down this road before as Giants fans. We know the Washington game from a couple of years ago where you had the touchdown in his hands and dropped it, and we ended up losing the game to Washington on that last second field goal, whatever. The Dexter Lawrence didn't jump off sides on, and they called it anyway on the miss. But, I'm not going to harp on that too much. But you sit up there and you look at everything that the team did yesterday, as far as the wide receiver core did yesterday. They were absolutely incredible. Isaiah Hodgins with the catch on the sideline or whatever, the toe tap. Like I said, we're going to sit up there and I look at him and I see Amani Toomer from a couple of years ago. I sit up here, I see Richie James. Richie James is a faster Steve Smith to me. Right? He's out there, he's making plays and everything like that. And I can't get past this segment without actually giving props and flowers to Kenny Golladay for going out there, regardless of how little playing time he gets, and still being a professional wide receiver and doing his damn job. Because he went out there and one play, he was only out there for 3 plays, right? But he went out there. The one play that he made his actual name and his number known is when he put number 20 in the dirt. You went out there, like I said before we started this mess, he took out every single frustration he had since the moment he signed that contract with us out on this one dude that he was blocking, and I absolutely loved it. Absolutely loved it. Keep it going. Keep it going.
I told you, Saquon yelled at him like, "Hell yeah!"
Drew, what are your thoughts on the receiving core? And you can add Bellinger in that too, and Cater too if you want.
Yeah, Bellinger. How he bounced back. When we was up there a couple of weeks ago, he had a crucial fumble in that game. And for him to bounce back, make crucial catches, especially the touchdown to open up the second half. That was crucial too. We won the coin toss and we deferred, to the second half, and they come back down there and score that touchdown. definitely set the tone for what was coming up in that second half. So can't forget about Bellinger, part of the receiving core. Hodges, you you mentioned it, Joe. Uh, when I saw the angle when he posted it on Instagram, I'm like, yo,
Mm-hmm.
this
Yup.
dude is growing on me every week, by the week to week. And this season, like this guy's our number one receiver. Let's keep it real. He's our number one receiver. And he was not on the opening day roster. And he's our number one
Not at
receiver.
all. My
Um,
man was claimed like week 5.
yes, we
No,
five,
not
like
even.
week 6.
Not even.
What was
Dude
he?
was claimed after the bye week.
Was he? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
I gotta look up where he when he was claimed. I gotta look that up now.
But he become our number one wide receiver, man. Our number one receiver, man. And that says a lot, man, for what Dable and them doing. And kudos to the offensive game plan too. Dable and Kafka, the game plan that they put in too. You seen a little bit of KC offense. I don't know if y'all seen the Statue of Liberty play that they did.
Loved it.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
even though
In
and,
the
Joe,
bag
November
kind of
4th.
thing.
even though it ain't getting a lot of yards, and Benji, you pointed out you wanted to see more the two backs in there more,
Mhm.
but you seen a little bit of the KC offense right there. So once again, man, yeah, man, the receiver core played well, man. I the only bad thing I could say it was this the Slayton drop, man. It's yo, I was ready to go through the TV when he dropped that ball. I'm like, that was game over. And once again, shout out to the offensive gameplay and the play calling right there. You couldn't call a better play than that right there. Oh my god, to set you up, and then Mr. Jones put it right. Your numbers. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
catch that, dude. You gotta catch that. You gotta
Mhm.
catch that. So, but it's not. That was the only thing I had about Slayton. Actually, dropped 2 passes, y'all. He dropped a touchdown, pass from that back of the end zone, which I think that would have been a touchdown too. So
I
it's
think you caught that one. That was a little rough. I'll give him a pass for that one, but that was a rough one. But even
uh,
then, going back to like the preseason, like we've sat up here and we've like I think he's caught that pass one time since the entire season started up, like going all the way back to October, like now going all the way back to August. I was at FanFest, bro. They ran that play like 45 times and he couldn't catch it once. So I'm just like, yo, just don't even throw it. Don't even throw that pass.
oh man.
All right. My thoughts on the receiving core. Hmm. Uh, Again, Hodgins speaks for himself. Over 100 yards receiving, touchdown, baller. Richie James, you guys touched on him and everything. I think he had Richie James has been solid for us. He's been he was up and down to start the season. Since then, he's been solid. Turns out another solid performance. Again, as you said, I will too give KG his flowers because KG, my man, hasn't had the best time. We all know that did not live up to that contract at all. I get it, but he had 2 options. He could have laid down. He could have quit on himself. Could have quit on the team and been like, you know what, like whatever. I'm done with this. I'm sitting down. I don't care. I'm not going to play. They'll cut me after this year. I'll go somewhere else and I'll continue to ball. And what did he do? He's still out there every week. He's still running his routes. And one of the biggest spots in the game to get a key third down, he ran, and it was Duke Shelley was the corner. He ran and he took Duke Shelley's entire soul. He put that man under the turf. And off of that, as soon as I saw that, I was just like, you know what? I'm a Galladay fan now. Because even though he has not turned out for us how we want him to, we thought he was going to be this 6'5", 1,000-yard receiver, 10 touchdown, Pro Bowl receiver. We're always talking the Giants want that number one guy with some height and some size, blah, blah. Hasn't turned into that guy. But for that guy to still come out week in and week out, put the effort in, and be out there blocking better than some of these, receivers that are making like $50-60 million, for him to still be out there and they don't block for nothing, for him to be out there and taking people out like that. Like, I mean, he put the guy on the ground. The guy tried to get up and he threw him back down. I was like, nah, like, stay on the ground. For him to be out there like that, blocking like that, to me, I was just like, KG, you got that. Like, I have a new respect for you. A very big new respect for you. What are you dying laughing about over there?
Yo, I'm sorry. I'm sitting up here. I'm trying not to crack up laughing because I got the sound off. But Dominic Mysterio just called all of the Usos wannabe essays, and Solo Sikoa walked up to him. And this dude, Prison Dom is facing up with this dude.
This guy's terrible.
Yo, I cannot deal with Prison Dom. Yo, this dude is hilarious.
This guy's over here watching Raw. Oh man. Like I was saying, if this is Galladay's last season, which more than sure it probably is, and everybody knows it's probably a foregone conclusion, unless the guy wants to come back for like $1 million, like a 1 year, $1 million deal, and come back and just be like a blocking receiver, then again, I will give you your flowers and say thank you, Galladay, for your not quitting on yourself, not quitting on the team, and still going out there. You just the reps that you're getting, you're putting your 110% effort in. So I respect that. Respect the hell out of you for that. And I mean, even like Dave stepped up after the game in the post game conference, and people were talking to him. They're like, "Yo, did you like what about the play of Daniel Jones? Did you see that throw and that catch and blah blah?" And he was like, "Yeah, he played good." He's like, "But what about that other play, this and that?" And they were like, "Well, how about Kenny Galladay? You see Galladay's block? Galladay's block was amazing. He like Dave didn't care about all the other stuff. He was like, did you see my receiver go out and take a man's soul?" Like that's what just having your head coach highlight you for your efforts when things aren't going your way. Yes, we all thought you were going to be this 1,200-yard receiver with 10 touchdowns and everything. Everybody thought that. We were sitting here like, oh, it's a big piece for us. He can go up and win jump balls, which I'm pretty sure he still probably could do. Look at the last week against the Eagles, against his former teammate Darius Slayton in Detroit. So I'm pretty sure he still probably could go up and win jump balls. But yes, things have not gone your way. It's not all your fault. We had some injuries and inconsistent and changing different coaches and everything every year. And I get it. Like, not every signing is going to be a home run. But for you to step up and still giving your 100% effort with the plays you're getting, for you to make $70 million and Dave's is only going to play you 3-4 plays a game, and you're still out there giving your 110% effort, like, to me, that means a lot. So as far as we go, I'm happy that Galladay is here, putting his 100% effort on the field. That to me was amazing. Darius Slayton. I texted you when he dropped that pass.
Yep.
Yeah, and I am not going to back off my stance that I am done with him. I'm done with him. It's that simple. After this year, I hope we move on from Darius Slayton. I don't care if we make the Super Bowl and he makes a game-winning touchdown pass, a touchdown catch. I don't care. I'm done with Darius Slayton. I'm done. Too many chances, too many opportunities, too many, oh, well, it's Darius Slayton. How many times are you going to say that? How many times are you going to sit here when the game's on the line? Again, if it's a Super Bowl and this guy drops a wide open touchdown with 0 seconds on the clock to lose the Super Bowl, are we going to still be like, oh, it's just Darius Slayton? It's okay. No. If he would have sat there and he would have dropped that pass, we would down and we would have lost, and we would have been out the playoffs. Oh, well, it would have been okay, but it's Darius Slayton. How many times are we going to do that? And like June said, Daniel Jones, it wasn't no bad pass. It wasn't this high up in the air. It wasn't behind him. It wasn't at his feet. It hit you between the 8 and the 6. It's 3rd and 12. You're wide open with real estate in front of you and nothing but a linebacker 6 yards behind you that would have never ran you down.
No.
You had at least 20 yards of grass in front of you or turf in front of you. And you're so worried about what? You're concentrated on what else that you don't bring the ball in. And it all starts with your technique and the way that you refuse to use your hands to catch the ball. Everybody else, from our running backs to our tight ends to our other receivers, use their hands to catch. You are a receiver. You aren't there for anything else but to catch a ball because you damn sure do not block. If you're a receiver and you lead the league and drop pass percentage, I don't want you on my team. Your drop pass percentage last year was 23%. You dropped 23% of the passes thrown your way last year, and that led the league. And then you're saying, oh, Darius Slayton's having a good year. He only drops 15% of the passes thrown to him now. That's still not good. And it comes because instead of just doing this and putting your hands out and catching it, you let the ball hit you and then try to catch it on the rebound. Are you an unathletic fullback? What are you? Like, are you a lineman trying to pick up a fumble? What are you? It just baffles me. I'm like, oh, he's a burner. He's that great. What else can you do? Because I don't care how fast you are. If you have 2 left feet for hands, I don't want you on the team. So regardless of how this year ends, if we go into Philly next week and we lose, if we go to the Super Bowl and we lose, we go to the Super Bowl and we win. If he catches the game-winning touchdown Hail Mary pass with no time left on the clock, after this year, I'm done with Darius Slayton. Move on. Find somebody else. You can go to the free agency and find some guy that's just fast and be like, hey, you run a 4.3. You want to play for the Giants?
There's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them. Who he reminds me of? And you know who he reminds me of?
Ron Dixon?
Tim Carter.
Okay.
Tim Carter. Wow.
Yeah. Tim Carter, because Tim Carter had all of the speed in the world, but could never bring the ball in when it was counted.
I remember Tim Carter.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And like you said, like we told you guys talked about before, good for Dave's, good for Saquon, and everybody tapped up and be like, hey, get out your head. Get out your head. Yeah. We're gonna need you to finish this game. We're gonna need you going forward in Philly and however far we go after this. We're gonna need you. So good on the players, good on the coaches to get on him and just not let him sit by himself and stew in his own thoughts. Because like you said, Benji, like you could see it in his face, and we all could see it in his face. Yep. He sat up here, and the moment he dropped that pass, he went back to the sideline. And he was stewing. He
almost tried to walk off on Dable, but Dable pulled him. He said, "Nah, listen."
I know. I'm watching the game right now.
I know.
I'm doing another shit.
Like you just, I don't know. Yeah, legit. Thanks, man. I know things didn't go right with your Chargers. Legit. Sorry about that. Unfortunately I was cheering for the Jags on that one. Legit wise. He comes on the show, checks us out. He's a Chargers fan, so sorry about that. Vine, I get it. He's the fast guy. Okay, that's fine. Like one of the best rated receivers.
that's actually not saying much, but
yeah, I was saying it's not really saying much.
Crap.
Like that's not saying much at all. And like I said, you can go into the draft and you can draft somebody this year and replace him and upgrade immediately. Whether you get a Jackson Smith and Jenbud or any an Addison. I'm just saying though. I'm just saying in general, there's receivers coming out this year that are better than Darius Slayton.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The free agent class sucks. That's fine. I would draft, but if you can sit up here and you can have Hodgins, Richie, Wandale, draft somebody that's better than him, you have 4 right there, and then you have to decide what you want to do with Sterl. That's 5. So I mean, if you can sit up here and you can move on from him after this year and find somebody else, why not? If he's just the fast guy, how many just fast guys can we find in the draft? Like,
hey, at this time, Joe, we gotta continue rolling with him, man. He's out there.
Oh yeah, I know.
I ain't worrying about no damn draft right now.
You're right. You're right.
Let's roll with him.
Yeah,
Hopefully
you gotta roll with him until we're done.
Yeah, he can redeem himself come this week. And after when the season is over, then we could deal with that. But good thing for the defense, held their ground. Good thing, thank God for Kirk Cousins being under center, and thank God for Kirk Cousins being under center and throwing a 3-yard pass to T.J. Hawkinson when it's 3rd and 8. Thank you, Kirk Cousins. Giants fans appreciate you. Probably he still got that NFC East love in him. Thank you. We appreciate you, brother. But yeah, man. We gotta continue rolling with him, man. We gotta continue. Ain't nobody else on the bench. Ain't nobody.
I mean, there are others on the bench, but I mean, they're not as good as him. So I mean, look, you got what? What's your options on the bench? Marcus Johnson and David Sills,
yeah.
So, like I said,
Can we bring Sills back, or is he still gone?
I don't at this point now. I don't even know. We always said we're gonna rock. We have no choice but to rock with him. So I mean, look, he's wearing the jersey. I hope the guy balls as much as he can. But like after this year, we're gonna talk about it. So Vine, we will table this. June is right. We will talk about it after the season's over. We'll see where we're looking like free agent wise, draft wise, where we're at. We'll see. We'll talk about it more then. Defensively, getting into it. Like Kayvon Thibodeau, can I get a holding call one time? Like one time. Yo, they were talking about Christian Darrisaw, like Darrisaw was locking him up. I'm like, are we watching the same game? Like,
he was locking him up, all right, locking him up in a bear hug.
I mean, they were showing replays of it. Like, oh, look at this block from Christian Darrisaw, and literally it will be both of his hands on Thibodeau's back. And I'm like, this is how we block. Like this is how we block now. My one thing is I will say is like, look, going next week we got to get more pressure on the QB. Look, we hit Kirk Cousins early and often. Like, we got pressure on him, but we never got a sack actually. And that was the one thing like we gotta get after the Eagles.
Gotta get some pressure. Gotta get some
pressure. We cannot sit back next week. We cannot.
Look, I seen the game plan Wink put together. He didn't really blitz Kirk Cousins, y'all. It was a lot of
the thing is, and the reason why he didn't do it is because Cousins actually killed us on the blitz there in the last game.
Okay.
Benji,
I spotted that.
This comment's for you. I'm pass this to you because I know you brought this up. So Benji, this one's for you.
Chat too.
Oh, Benji, you got this. This is you, Benji. Go ahead.
I'm gonna put it to you like this. The thing about Azeez Ojulari is when he's on the field, he's incredible.
Yeah, he is.
The problem is he's never on the field.
Never.
So I'm not going to go as far to say the man just get rid of him. What I am going to say is he needs to be a rotational piece that's behind your starter. So if you want to throw him out there and you throw him out there, like if Wink Martindale want to come up with his own little 4 aces package or something like that, and you want to throw multiple defensive ends or rush edges out there, he can be one of the 4, but he does not need to be one of your main 2 aside from Kayvon. When it comes to free agency or when it comes to the draft, I know you brought up Justin Houston before, Joe, but I'm sitting up here going through like the mock drafts and stuff that I've been going through. Every single time I run through one, you got to target the edge somewhere. There has to be some type of a rush edge coming in there. Like I said, off the top of my head, Mike Morris from Michigan, a guy that everybody keeps looking at or whatever, thing like that. Somebody has to come in here and be opposite of Kayvon that can actually stay on the field, because right now, Azeez Ojulari ain't it. I don't know what the situation is, if it's just him just not being good as far as stretching, that he comes up here and he has all of these soft tissue injuries every time I turn around. But something has to be done.
I don't know. Drew, what are your thoughts on this whole Azeez thing?
Fellas, first of all, yesterday I I was DJing yesterday, so the first half of the game, I had to like on the side watching the game because I was DJing. But then I get to the house and I get the notification. I didn't even know he was out. I get the notification on my phone that Ojulari is out for the rest of the game. I'm like, bro, come on, man. This is the first time we have everybody on the field. Dude, like my thing is the best availability is availability, man. And this guy is never available since his rookie year. Like, oh man, it's. I'm not saying like, Bidgie, I'm with you. I'm not saying get rid of dude, but he gotta be a rotational piece, man. Like, oh man, it's just this dude is never healthy, man. He's never healthy.
Nope.
And you said we didn't get no sack, and that's the thing I think we are missing. Is that pass rush? I said Demarcus. Dexter Lawrence give you that pressure up front. That dude is talking about the defense. That dude is a beast. That dude, he deserved that All Pro.
He deserved that first team All Pro. I don't know who they think they was giving the y'all better change that.
Word, man. That dude is playing. He been playing all year, man. And it just we need that edge rush. And KT do give us that, but it's just we need somebody the opposite side of him. I like what Jahai Ward doing, and X
is. I'm done with him out of this year too.
Yeah, he's getting my nerves.
Yeah. But
I'm done with X after this year.
We need that solid piece on the other side if Ojulari can't stay healthy, man.
Yeah, like you guys said, KT is only one part of it, and Tibbs is getting his pressures. He's getting his hurries and his hits. That's one. But when he's getting like mauled and just held and tackled every play, you can't do anything about it. Like there was a couple plays where they actually showed him just throwing his hands up after the play because it's just like, yo, like I'm getting tackled, legit tackled, and I just don't, and I'm not getting any call. Dexter Lawrence is getting held inside too. And the other part of it is we don't have, and Benjamin talk about this all the time, and I'm sure June, you notice this too. And Vine, since you're in here, I'm pretty sure you notice it too. We don't have another interior guy next to Dexter Lawrence. It's just Dexter Lawrence. Cat rotates. He rotates with the dude Justin Ellis, and Justin Ellis is not good. He's too slow out of the stance. He's trying to be a space eater, and he can't do that. And then so when you have a defense where you try to get pressure, like it only takes one guy to hold up Ellis.
Yeah.
Like, because he can't go anywhere. And then you have Dexter Lawrence getting double teamed. And then if you don't have Aziz on that other side, you're stuck with O'Shane Zimenez. And again, undersized, and he's just not doing anything. Like, Zimenez hasn't done much to me after the Packers game. Yeah. So, I mean, like, after that, you're left with who else? You're left with like I haven't seen an Ellerson Smith has not touched the field. Like, not once. And then Jahai Ward's there, but Jahai Ward is in the pass rusher. Jahai Ward is a run stuffer. Jahai Ward is your guy who's going to set an edge. He's not going to let runs bounce outside of him. So your only effective pass rush threats are KT and Dexter Lawrence. Because again, like you guys said, Aziz gets hurt almost damn near every game. Now, like I said, and it just sucks because we have other needs. And like I said, that's the one thing I was saying. Like, if we went to free agency, I might prefer to signing a older veteran. Like, it may let him be 30, 31, 32, but somebody who can get after the quarterback. Somebody that can apply more pressure from the other side. So that quarterback just knows, okay, well, KT's over there. Let me just step this way, and I'm fine. KT and Dexter are on this side. If I step away from this side, I'm fine on this side. I got Zimenez getting locked up. I got whoever the other D tackles in there, he's getting locked up. I'm getting no pressure on me. I'm fine. So those other two spots have to get filled. So he can't just, whatever quarterback it is, can't just slide right the entire game and be fine. There has to be something else in there. Yeah. And I think that's really a part we're missing in it too. I mean, the linebacking core, And the one thing I did notice from Wink, and they hit on it, a couple of analysts hit on it after the game as well. They had LC and they had Jefferson going in there, and neither of them and whoever else was trying to was getting completely destroyed by Hawkinson yesterday. Wink actually made an adjustment, and I was very surprised. And remember, and that's also what you said, June, because Wink was saying like he lives and dies by the blitz, but in the second half, he went 7 DBs. I don't know if you guys really noticed that a lot, but he made the adjustment, and he went 7 DBs. He took those guys off the field, and they played a lot better. And like Vine just said, and brought up Cardell Fly, who went, like you said, Benji, came into the game cold and made potentially one of the biggest plays of the entire game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, so linebacking core wise, this game wasn't really a matchup for them because, again, you have those 3 monster receivers. I'm going to put monster. Give Jefferson, Thielen, Osborne, who were lighting it up. And then you had Hawkinson, who was killing us the entire game. And he killed us the first game. Mm-hmm. Jefferson, we held to 47 yards. Mm-hmm. So
I mean, it came on the first drive.
Exactly. Like,
I love McKinney, right? I love McKinney. But what the hell he was thinking shooting up on that screen pass to Jefferson in that 4th down play, yo. You almost lost it, Benji. I almost lost it. Like,
you know, I actually brought this up at his first game back. Is when they were like, if you remember correctly, his first game back was when we played the Colts, right?
Yeah.
The first time I actually saw him out there on the field, he gave up a 49-yard pass, going for an interception he really shouldn't have gone after.
Paris Campbell, yeah.
So, like, I can sit up here and I kind of sort of understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to play aggressive, but you can't play overly aggressive to that point. Julian Love was way out of position for him to be jumping up trying to undercut that route. Yeah. Jefferson covered. Even though, like, you know, you're sitting up there and you're just like, you know what? I don't want to leave Jefferson one-on-one. He was still down there covered. He had somebody on him.
Yeah.
But my man came up and he, like, sat up there and let Hawkinson sit up there and just run free out in the secondary.
4th down.
Love had to come pretty much all the way over from center field. And honestly, if it wasn't, you know, a guy as big as Hawkinson, he probably would have separated him from the ball. But, you can't do that.
You can't do
it. I'm pretty sure they're gonna let them know in film study today if they didn't already.
You can't do it.
Like I said, look, we shut down a lot of we shut down Jefferson and even Dalvin. We only held Dalvin 60 yards rushing. That was another big thing.
After that first drive, right? You see that first drive, how they was hitting Jefferson. I'm like, oh shit, we in a long day.
Yep.
I think Kirk Cousins went 5 for 5 on that first drive. 3 of them passes was to Jefferson. I'm like, oh man. But like you said, kudos to Wink Martindale. I think he caught one more pass in that first half and one other pass. I think he had 5 receptions. I'm not really sticking. Hold on. I got the stats right here. He had 7. Right? Yeah, 7. Okay, so 5 receptions in the first half and just 2 in the second half. Great job by Wink Martindale, because you seen it. It was a lot of double teams. They covered them pretty well, man. And the Dory Jackson playing in this game shows a lot too. It shows
you definitely just segued into the next point. What I was going to say was having a Dory back was huge.
Yeah,
huge this game.
Mm-hmm.
It just showed it made a lot of difference.
Yeah,
I mean, and I know this was our guy, Benji. I know we have banged the table for him since he's been here. Loved him out the draft. Had our ups and downs with him. But yesterday he played a very good game, and I'll let you speak on it, Mr. Darnay Holmes.
Yes. I have been pretty much all season anti-Darnay Holmes because the dude cannot keep his hands off a receiver while he's in coverage.
Mm-hmm.
However, one of the things, and I want to give it up to a couple of people, an entertainer probably one of the most vocal about it. Darnay Holmes is very, very good covering out of the backfield. Right? This guy yesterday was putting himself on the map because if I remember correctly, Darnay Holmes is actually a free agent coming up. This dude was, I swear, it seemed like every time these guys tried to run any type of wide receiver screen, a bubble screen, a swing pass out of the backfield to the running back or something like that,
Hey,
all you saw was 30 just starting
Dalvin,
up,
Dalvin Cook got
taking
have
this man out.
nightmares.
Yeah,
Nightmares of Darnay Holmes, man.
every single last one of them. Every single last one of them. I don't think they succeeded on one the entire game just because of the fact that this dude was just out of his mind. But hey, that's what we needed.
Yeah.
And as who was that actually said that? Fine, yeah. Hopefully he sets up there and he continues this next week, because the last thing we need is to have Devontae Smith take every single screen pass that he's thrown 75 yards for a touchdown, because he's very capable of doing that.
Yo, like I said, oh man, like Darnay was like, I'm not gonna call him dirt divine, but like but yeah, the dude's just, I don't know. I'm not gonna talk about his whole time as a Giant. I'm gonna talk about yesterday. Yesterday the kid played lights out and his instincts were on a different level. And it was great to see. Like you said, Benji, we're going to definitely need it. Well, all the RPO, as Vine says, all the screens are RPO, the Eagles run.
Yeah.
We're going to need quick play recognition. And I think we're going to see, I know we didn't see too much of them, especially once Wake adjusted, but I think we're going to see some more Jared Davis on the field next week again.
Right.
Because that kid, that dude, his play diagnosis and his play recognition ability was awesome. So I think he's going to be on the field more for the RPOs, filling gaps, and then again, screen recognition. Because the first game that guy played, and I showed on the video last week, I showed a video on here, that dude on his screens was ridiculous. When his play recognition, he was running to spots before plays were even being snapped. He was watching the play start, and as soon as the play would hike, he'd take off to where the play was going. So if that's the case, I'm going to need Jared Davis back on the field big time next week, and I hope LC's back on the field. Yeah, Vine, I agree with you. We have underrated players. We have underrated defensive players. I don't think we need to fill it out a little more. We're going to this off season, but we have some good players. They're not going to always be household names. They're not going to be top rated people. They're not going to be Pro Bowlers all the time, but we have some very underrated, solid pieces. Moving on to next week. I mean, I don't have anything else to talk about with this game. Special teams, I don't have much to speak on. Gano went perfect, field goals and extra points. Gillen only had 2 punts, so you always love to see that. 2 punts the whole game. I'll take it all day.
I don't want to see Gillen punt at all.
Me too.
Well, of course not. Nobody wants to see the punt team home.
No, I mean, like literally, I don't want to see him
stinking sometimes.
Oh well, yeah. Again, off season nosebleed section. We'll talk about that because we can probably upgrade that punting position.
Yeah.
Yes, Vine. Yes, bring him in.
I mean, there's a possibility. I mean, he's a Bills guy, so I mean, it's a possibility. I'm going to pull up the Bills free agents and just start going down the list because let's just bring some more of you guys over. Like, is Stephon Diggs a free agent? Let's get him over. Let's bring Stephon Diggs.
Is Gabe Davis a free agent?
Yeah, right. Like, I'll take that all day. You can keep Stephon. I'll take Gabe Davis. I'll take that too. I'll pair him with Hodgins and have freaking Wandale and Richie. I'll take that. Shoot. Like I said, I don't think there's much to talk about special teams. Gano went perfect. Like I said, Gillen only punted twice. Only the one bad spot. Brightwell did have a fumble, but he recovered it.
Yeah.
And that's really it for the notes there. I will say this, and I'm pretty sure you guys will agree, and I'm pretty sure if it wasn't confirmed before, I will say I think we can all confirm it now, is that Daves should be Coach of the Year.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah.
I think we can all agree on that.
And
before it was, yeah, well, he took him to the playoffs, like, yeah, it's that, and now we've won. And I mean, they were talking about the from what I've been seeing, the three finals were Dave's, Kevin O'Connell, and Nick Sirianni. Well, it was you and O'Connell, and you knocked out O'Connell, so it ain't him now. It's you and
Good work, Dallas.
Sirianni, huh?
No, I'm sorry. I'm just saying, good work, Dallas.
Oh,
They scored. They lined up for the extra point, and they lined up on the left hash and kicked the ball to the outside of the right upright. How?
Wait, they scored? Who scored?
Yeah, it's six.
Is it
It's
Dallas
6-0
or-
Dallas right now. They
Okay.
missed the extra point. I don't get it, but whatever. Overcompensate that much.
Schultz, Dalton Schultz scored.
right before we get out of here, like I said, the one thing we will just have a prediction for next week. If you guys haven't already, check us out: Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Vine, yeah, great talking to you too. Look forward to having you coming back and talking with us more. Hopefully next week we have another victory formation we pop up, and we'll be talking about an NFC Championship game. Check us out during the off season as well. Real quick, we don't really have to get into it too much because again, we hit on it during the podcast, and we've talked about it twice already before and after these Philly games. Predictions, I'm sure we're all going for the Giants. I don't have a score for you guys. But we know what's at stake. It's the playoffs. Like, it's win or go home. It's one game. We know what's at stake. We're going to Philly, like we talked about earlier. Like I said, the first one, I know Judy look, you have something to say, so I'll cut to you. But go ahead. Go right ahead.
I just now defensively, I want to just talk defensively. It should be a different game plan now. And I just said this on my last show. No disrespect to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts was having a great year before the injury. Probably would have won MVP, but Mahomes kid just did some crazy numbers this year. But I think it's gonna be a different game plan this week. If we need to win, we need to come after Jalen Hurts. I felt like what he did this week against Kirk Cousins, he did a lot of fake blitzing, but showed like they was blitzing, but they dropped them 7 DBs back in zone with the double team behind Jefferson. But we got to come after Hurts this week. He's gonna run the ball a lot. They're gonna try to run the ball with him a lot. Get outside of that pocket, especially the other side, because I don't think Ojulari is gonna play next week. Especially on that other side.
Nah.
We need blitz to that from the other side. So I definitely think that should be the game plan for this week, though. Joseph, my man Joe on here, he predicted his score already, but defensively,
I love it.
You come after him.
Benji, thoughts?
27-24 Giants.
Need to keep it in that score, yeah.
Well, there you go. I like it. All right. Well, we're gonna watch this last wild card game. Bucks and Cowboys are going on now. June, I tried to get us done before the game, but we start rolling.
Good. I don't care about these boys.
I know.
Big Blue Nation. I don't care about these boys. You behind me, man.
I know. I'm not even watching the game. I'm like on YouTube, so I'll probably click over and watch it a little bit later. But seeing the Cowboys is not the thing I want to see before I go to bed. So I don't. But again, thanks for watching, guys. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know your thoughts. Always comment. Let us know what we get wrong, what you like, what you didn't like. Come argue with us. Come debate. Try to do better every week. Another episode of the Nosebleed section is our Victory Monday podcast. Only when the Giants win, we get that label. When we lose, it's not Victory Monday for obvious reasons. That being said, like I said, like the page, check us out on YouTube. Always posting up stuff. TikTok now. Trying to be hip with the times in my old age. So check us out. And Go Giants. Hopefully, we'll have another Victory Monday coming up for you guys.
Yes.
June, always welcome. Always love to have you on the show. Next week, same time, same
Let's do
place,
it. Let's do it.
same
do
bat
it.
time, same bat channel.
Hope we feeling the same way come next Monday.
Oh yeah, that's what we always want.
All right.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, good night. Good night.